Hello percussionists. So today we are talking a little more about snare technique, a little bit about metronome use, and really keeping time. I appreciate those of you that sent me videos last week. They are definitely working towards being better, and now we can just kind of hone in on skills we really need as percussionists. So you are going to need your Tradition of Excellence book today. That is this red book right here. This book covers a bunch of different percussion instruments, but we're really focusing on snare, and we will continue to focus on snare for the next little bit, which is this instrument right here, right? A snare drum. So you've seen this in class. It has a shell with two heads. The batter, where you hit it, is where you hit it, and the snare, which is underneath, makes it like ring like a snare drum. But since we don't have snare drums at home right now, we will be using our drum pads, right? Drum pads and sticks. So, looking at our next part, we need to talk about stick grip. When you grip your sticks, it's not just however you want to hold them. It doesn't make sense to do that, and you don't want any tension in your arms when you hit with sticks. So, bend your arm at the elbow until your forearm is at a slight angle away from the floor, right? Right? Like this. Find the spot on the stick approximately 1/3 of the length from the butt, which is the back. So, sometimes there's a 2B or another couple letters there. That's where you want to grip it. With your thumb and your index finger, right in the first joint of your index finger. That's called the fulcrum, right? It's a pivot point on the stick. It kind of lets you wave it like this. So grip it confidently, but not too tight so it looks like this. Should be able to wave it, right? Lightly wrap your other fingers around it so that your thumb is still kind of up. And your thumb should always point towards the tip of the stick. It should not be wrapped like a fist. It should be pointing up towards the end of the stick, right? And then that happens in your left hand too. Make sure they are equidistant. And then give yourself a couple rings. Should be incredibly light. Should be no muscular tension in your arm. Right? This is what you should look like, right? Arms bent at a normal level. Your snare pad should be at about hip height. If you are standing, stand when you drum to make sure you are comfortable where you are at hip height. Now, reading notation. For snare drum, on every one of these pages, there is a top line and a bottom line. We are going to always be looking at the bottom line where it says SD, that stands for snare drum. The top line, MLTS, is mallets. That's what Sophie is playing in class. You do not have to worry about the mallet part, you have to worry about the snare part. The R's and the L's at the top tell you whether or not it's right or left hand, right? So we have this exercise. We will taw and TT it first. It's only taws and rests, so that's easy. Ready? Watch me do it once and then do it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ta. Right? So pause me, go back, do that once with me. This is something where you have to be super on top of the beat. What we're going to use to do that is a metronome. So pull up a metronome. You can download a metronome on any app store, on the Google App Store, on the Apple Store. You can also just Google the word metronome and it will come up. So set it to 80 beats per minute. Now we're going to go back to our book. And again, ta and TT it with your voice. No sticks yet. Ready? Number 7. 1, 2, ready. Ta, 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 ta. Right? So get your sticks ready. Once you're comfortable and you've lined up perfectly with me, pause me and go back and repeat it until you can do just the tas with me perfectly. Do not speed up. We are going to do the top line first, where it starts with the right hand and then the bottom line is just backwards. So start with your right hand first. Equal strokes, should be equal power. Remember to stay loose but confident. 1, 2, right stick first. Right, left, rest. Left, 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 right, left, rest, left. Now I will do it without speaking, using the right sticks. You can't just use whatever stick you want, they have to be in the right order. Ready? 1, 2, top line again. Right? There it is. So that's the top line there. Make sure you don't rush it. Every time you hit the drum, it should be on a beat. If you're not playing with the beat, you're either speeding up or slowing down. So pause yourself and fix that. Go as slow as you need to go to make sure you are on beat. Now let's try the second line, which starts with the left hand and is just backwards from the first one. So it's, I'll say it while I do it this time, and then I'll do it once without saying it. Ready? 1, 2, ready. Left, right. Right, 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 left, right. Right. Right? So, the next exercise is very similar to the first one. It's just rest is in a different place. The rest is on beat 2 instead of on beat 3. So I will play number 8, number 9, and number 10 because they are very similar. I will play the top line for each and then the bottom line for each. Actually, I'll just play the top line. You can figure out the bottom line for each. Ready? Number 8, 1, 2, ready, go. There it is, there's number 8. Percussion pizzazz. I will do the top line, which starts with the left hand this time. 1, 2, ready, go. Left, right, left. Left, right, left. There it is. And then number 10. This one's quite easy. It's just your right hand or just your left hand. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. There it is. So going forward, all these exercises are of the same vein. I would like you to work, this is page 5 by the way, number 7 on page 5. Work through number 7. These are easy exercises. Make sure you are perfectly on time with a metronome at 80 beats per minute. Do not work faster than 80 beats per minute. It will not help you. And go all the way through number 14. Number 14 is very similar to number 7, just with a little more work. I will play number 14. I will play number 11, 12, 13, and 14, just so you can hear them to line up with it. So this is number 11, top line. 1, 2, ready, go. Number 12, top line, 1, 2, ready, go. Right? Remember, you should be ta-ta-ing these and counting the rhythms with your mouth before you actually play them. I'm just saving us time in the video. Number 13, every measure has 2 rests in the middle. So this will be one that you will rush automatically. Try not to rush it. 1, 2, ready, go. And then lastly, number 14, right? 1, 2, ready. There it is. So there's numbers 7 through 14. What I need you to do for this week's homework is to work on numbers 7 through 14, starting at Morse code on page 5 and going all the way through Percussion Expert at number 14 on page 6. I need you to record numbers 11, 12, 13, and 14. Do them all in a row with a metronome going in the background like I just did. Keep the metronome going at 80. You can pause between each one, but do the top line, the one that is the second grouping, but it has RL or RLR, the one with the top letters on the bottom line. I know that's a little confusing, but in number 11, that would be starting with your left hand here. On number 12, that would be starting with your right hand here. Number 13 would be starting with your right hand here, and then number 14 would also be starting with your right hand here. So record those 4 back to back for me with a metronome. Make sure that you are on time. You cannot speed up, you cannot slow down. Don't practice with a metronome faster. Don't try to do this as quick as possible. You'll just hurt your technique doing that. And continue to work with this. You are the clock for the band. If you cannot keep the beat, the band falls apart. I know this might seem easy, but it's really hard to master being patient and not anticipating. You chose an instrument that takes a lot of focus. So prove you have that focus and record me numbers 11, 12, 13, and 14 with a metronome at 80 beats per minute. If you have any questions, email me, G-chat me, I will be around, and I will talk to you during our next meeting.